Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Inquiring Minds. I'm Hialeah Comic Bro, and I'm here with my buddy Conquistadorks-Javi, and we got Big Will as our guest this week, everybody.
I have arrived.
What's up, Big Will? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Hialeah? Everybody in the chat. We got Immortal Biggie Shaq, Comic Books NYC. What's going on, guys?
That is awesome, man, guys. Thanks for coming. NYC, man, I was so close on that pick, man. I think I only missed it by a couple of bucks. Steve, what's going on?
We got Steve, Unruly Simeon, rolling in. What's going on, guys?
Welcome. Let's get this started, man. We're gonna have our little inquiry of Big Will. I'm gonna start off. I came up with something during the week. Me and my wife have this thing that we find a Florida connection, like in movies and TV shows. We wonder, how it comes up like in 80% of the shows that we watch. They'll mention a city, or they'll mention Florida, or they were born in Miami or whatnot. So I'm gonna start it off with Will. What is your Florida connection? Do you have one?
I have been there. That's about it.
Where did you go?
That's a start. That's a start.
That's a start, man. That's a connection. Where did you go in Florida?
Pensacola.
Pensacola? How long ago was that?
Oh, over a decade.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and that's your only connection
that I know of.
Oh wow. Last week I was surprised, man, when Sam out of nowhere said that he was born in Orlando. That totally blew my mind. I didn't see that one coming. So I figured, at least you've been here, man. We were talking off air, and I've never been to Alabama. That's where you're at, correct?
Yeah.
And I've never
born and raised.
Born and raised. I've never driven out of. I was telling you off air, man. I've never driven out of the state. That's crazy. I've never been to Georgia, Alabama, anywhere. I've flown out, but not driven out. How about you, Javi?
Nope. Not to anywhere besides New York. And I mean, I have not traveled a lot, so I need to get out there more. Colorado, but not to Alabama.
Not to Alabama. Tell us about Alabama, Will. How is it?
Well, first off, you guys need to start driving more. I've never flown, actually.
Really?
All I've done is driven.
Wow.
So I've never gone anywhere that I couldn't get to within a day before from home base. So
that's awesome.
The farthest we've ever been is Branson, Missouri.
Branson, Missouri. How is it in Alabama?
How is what? You give me something to read.
I don't know. Do you live in a small town? Do you live in what is it? Birmingham, Mobile?
I live south of Huntsville. In a real small town. There's, I believe there was 500 on the last census.
How many shops do you have?
In my town?
Yeah, comic shops.
0.
Oh my goodness. So you don't have an LCS?
Well, I do, but I have to travel about an hour to get to it.
Wow, an hour's drive. Okay.
So it's more of a CS, not an LCS.
How often do you go?
But I try to go at least once every 2 months.
Wow.
Most of the time, I can do a little bit more than that. Sometimes I've had to stretch it a little past it, but yeah, I can go pretty much guaranteed at least once every 2 months. So because of that, I don't really ever keep a big pull list. If there's more than 3 titles, I normally think about trying to take one off. Right now, I only have one. It's Ghost Rider. And then, of course, if I see a good trade or something, I'll pick it up. And that's my only ongoing. Of course, when Wolverine gets his title back, I'll be on that,
He's supposed to be getting one soon, isn't he?
He is.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but good night. It's Wolverine. He needs his own title. I like him best. This is where me and John's Comics with Kids disagree. I don't like him on a team. I think he works best alone, by himself, with no one else. Just doing his thing,
Right. I kind of agree with you, man. That series and his first series was amazing. I loved it. How did you become such a Wolverine fan, man? You just felt a connection?
In 2001, I was at Kroger, and they had a little book section, and then it had some comics in there. One of them was Wolverine 177. It's a part 1 of 2. Luckily, I landed on a part 1, and I picked it up. The cover was cool. It looks like he's being thrown in the ocean or something, and the cover's just him shooting through the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that, loved it. Never could get the part 2 until years later, but Wolverine 177 is what turned me into a Wolverine fan. Of course, like you guys, from cartoons and just walking around since, I've known a Wolverine, but that's what made me a fan.
Were you already into comics at that time?
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of your first comics.
I was just reading. I didn't know comic shops existed, so I was going to Kroger and wherever else I happened to see them, and would pick one up here and there and read it. So, and every now and then I'd get my parents to get me something from somewhere, but that's pretty much it. So.
And you knew of Wolverine, but that was the first book that you've actually picked up. How did you get into comics?
I don't remember. They've always been a part of life.
Oh wow!
Wow,
nice.
That's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah, I've never not had a comic book of some kind in the house as far back as I can remember.
Have you ever left collecting?
No. I started in 2005, 2006, and I've had to not do it very much because of things in life, but
right.
I've never stopped.
Wow.
So most of you guys on YouTube come back and you're like, what's this grading thing? I remember finding out about it back in the day when I first started and learning, and CBCS didn't exist, and PGX was even more horrible than they are now.
Right.
So,
all that grading stuff was crazy with me too, man. When I first got back into it, it was like I didn't know that. My brother actually showed me what CGC was, and he got one of my books and he sent it in for me, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But I didn't really get the bug until much later, man. Because I really wasn't into comics. Because, like I was saying, I left comics in the '90s, and I was gone for what 20-something years. So,
wow, that's a big gap.
It's a huge gap. I got into other
big
stuff.
Hiatus.
It was it was the '90s, and I really didn't like where it was going, so I got turned off.
Yeah.
But man, I am so happy I'm back now because I love it now. I got the bug.
We have poor Mike in the chat. I know you shouted him out. Comic Head 84 joining us. Steve Whiting's in here. Chad, now the MF Comics jumped in, and Bake the Snake jumped in.
Man, you showed that the other day, Will, when we were on with Steve. That's a gorgeous cover, man.
That's 177. You can see why I picked it up off the rack.
Is that the same one you picked off the rack?
No. That thing got destroyed and disintegrated from reading and putting it in my back pocket and everything else. This is a different copy, but same issue. That's what it is.
And I'm trying to get on you.
And know what it looks like.
There it is. What number is that?
177.
That's the one that got you back into
end
it.
of the original run.
That is a beautiful cover, man.
Yeah, that's an awesome cover. That's during the Extreme X-Men. I believe that's what was going on.
And you got it back in 9/8. Sweet. How did you get into YouTube, Will?
YouTube?
Yeah.
This is a funny story. I got pissed off. That's how I got into YouTube.
Okay. That's a good enough reason, bro.
Yep.
You channel your anger.
Do what?
Channel your anger.
With a channel, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So what happened was I had these books and I wanted to send them off and get them graded. And I was still, trying to go the cheapest route. So guess who I picked? I went with PGX.
Oh my God.
10 books. 10 books came back after having to call them, say, hey, what's up? You're taking a little long. And they had, excuses, which that's okay. Things happen. But I got the books back, and of the 10, 8 of them had something wrong.
Oh my goodness.
I'm talking missing publishers, wrong dates, and the one that was the straw that broke the camel's back was a Daredevil 77 15-cent comic that it was made in 1987 was the date they put on it. And they also put on it that it was published by DC.
Are you
Oh
serious?
my god!
It had Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Submariner all on the cover.
Wow, dude, that's insane.
That made me so angry.
So, needless to say, you haven't used them again, huh?
No, I have not. And they also had an old Western they put at a 6.0. Turns out, according to CGC, it's a 4.0. And to me, it looked like a 3.0, but they had it at a 6.
Damn.
Wow.
Way wrong on the grading. So I had to call around CBCS and CGC. CGC has that credit, if you get the premium membership.
Yeah.
So I wound up going with them, and that was before they did a crossover service. So I had to pay full price for everything to send them off again, wait longer now, even, a few months, get them back again. And it just burned me up so bad. I wound up sending the PGX Daredevil 77. I didn't give it to CGC. I sent it to Comic Tom 101.
Wow.
And you can have, it's about a year ago.
Yeah.
He does an unboxing and Russ hands him that Daredevil. So I wanted to get some eyes on it to show, hey, this is the crap that's still going on after all these years with this company. So as far as I know, they still have it. I don't think they got rid of it. And everything else I got back, and I eventually gave it all away because I was so mad looking at them having to pay twice to get them graded by 2 different companies. And I had to tell somebody about it, and YouTube was a great outlet. I was watching everybody, so it made me jump on, and then, well, here I am.
Why did you go with PGX?
They're the cheapest.
Yeah, it was the cheapest route.
And the fastest. And now that I know for sure there's a reason.
Everybody complain. I know you use CGC. I do too.
And everybody use both CGC and CBCS. CBCS for signatures, CGC for plain grading.
Everybody complains about the turnaround time, but man, do you know how many freaking books those people get?
Oh, I know. CGC is screaming greased lightning now compared to when I first started with them.
Totally.
It takes 6 months for a modern book, no pressing.
Yeah, no pressing. Yeah, it was crazy.
Now I have to suffer through 2 months pressing and grading. So to me, there's still greased lightning.
Yeah, no, we sent some books out, and I think we're getting some of them back in December. I'll hopefully get the rest in January. It's a hell of a lot faster. Before, it's like you said, I remember one time I had to wait like 8 months.
Wow.
And I totally and I sent it with my shop. And I remember they were,
My very first submission to CGC was through my shop.
Yeah, that's how I got the bug. I was sending my books through my shop, and that's how I got into it. And they actually, I've shot at them a few times. It's Gauntlet Comics. That's my LCS. And they got me back into it, and I loved it. But I remember, I believe it was like 8 months, and like you pay half a portion up front, and then you pay when the books come in the rest. And I know they waived it because they were embarrassed how long it took. So that was cool of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Do either you remember?
Yeah, I've never done CBCS either.
Do either of you remember the first book you got graded?
I have never sent anything out to CGC. I remember buying my first slab.
What was yours?
Who were you asking?
Will.
My
sorry,
first.
Sorry.
No.
It's all right.
It's not my interview.
The first one I sent in was through my LCS, like I said, or my CS, and it was Bomb Queen #1.
Bomb Queen.
I don't even know what that book is.
I think his name's Jimmy Robinson, and it's an image book, Shadowline.
Oh, never heard of it. What you get? What did it come back as?
Dylan is the star of the show in that world.
What did it come back as?
It was a 9.8, I think.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Avi, I'm sorry to interrupt. What were you gonna say, man? I'm sorry, man.
I think the first slab I bought was was I think it was an eBay buy off of eBay. The Spider-Verse Into the Spider-Verse #2.
You still have it?
The Ghost Spider, Gwen Stacy on the cover.
You still have it?
Yeah, it's in my room over there.
That's cool, dude. I
don't think I was like one time I was like really interested in the CGC service. I was like researching a lot and like seeing what was most affordable, which one of their services, because I was like, I would like to get into slabbing, and I know that the profit of slabbing a book is more than if you were just to sell it raw. So I was interested in it, but I never pulled the trigger.
I don't know. I got the bug, man, and I'm kind of glad I don't have the bug like I did before, man. It was the way I'm thinking about it now. I'm being very picky. I don't know about you, Will. I'd rather spend that money on getting other books.
Well, if I'm going to send a book in, it's because the value's there to send it in, or it's a PC book and I just want it in the collection slabbed. So I'll go through and do the math. Okay, if I do this, I do this, I do this. Like, for example, I have a book right here that because of cost, because of the grade that it is, because of the cost of grading, I am most likely going to sell it as is or do some sort of contest. And it's Teen Titans, Tales 44, First Nightwing, signed by Marv Wolfman and George Perez.
That's awesome. Great book.
But the condition would mean I would be breaking even or going a little negative to get it graded, because I would go CBCS and it cost $40 just for the signature verification, since there's 2 of them. That's not counting all the grading and everything else, pressing.
It's $20 each for a signature verification?
No, it's $25 for the first and $15 for each additional.
Oh, wow.
So, so out of all my books I have double signed by these guys, I got to pick and choose, which one to send off.
The best condition or what? But that's the sell, or you're going to be keeping that?
All my Teen Titans books are to sell, but for later. It's a long-term speculation. And any book I have that you see with a signature on it, it means I plan on selling it at some point, because I don't like signatures on my personal books.
I don't have too many signatures. I got a few. My first book was my brother sent. I had a X-Men 94, and he sent it in for me. Like I said, I didn't know anything about grading. I was out of comics, and it came back a 7.5. And although I don't like signatures, I did get that one signed by Stan Lee through my shop.
Yeah.
And it came back a 7. It lost half a grade, so it's all right. It's no big deal.
And Pope's saying, "What if it costs $300 to slab a book?" Well, then the book better be worth $400, $500, or $600 after the slabbing.
Yeah.
Else, I wouldn't slab it.
Or else it wouldn't be. The opportunity cost wouldn't be there,
And then you got to think about what you got the book at too,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like whenever I got my stuff signed by Stan Lee, that really made it hard on what books to do to get graded, because it was $100 and something just for him to sign.
Exactly.
And I don't think there's anyone in the industry that can realistically charge that, and I'd be okay with. Frank Miller does $100, and I don't think he's worth it.
Who? Frank Miller's 100? I don't think it's worth that, man. What book?
I mean, John freaking Romita is only like $30-$50.
That's still a lot, man.
I know, but it's a heck of a lot less than 100.
I got those Stan Lees, and I went through my shop, and I think they were like $100. But the 3 books I got was the 181, a giant size, and the 94, and I got those books practically for nothing 40 years ago. So the cost factor was there for me to pay that for a signature, and it was Stan Lee. I never had a Stan Lee. I wish I would have met him, but other than that, man, Neil Adams is like $50 too, or something like that, right?
Say again.
How much is a Neil Adams sig?
I think his is like $50.
$50. That's still a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean, Todd McFarlane's only $50. I think Jim Lee's a little less. Yeah, almost no one charges more than 50 unless you're getting a New Mutants 98 signed by Rob Liefeld or any Frank Miller signature, it seems. They're the only ones that really charge, and to me, neither one of them is worth it. A lot of guys like Marv Wolfman, he'll charge you $20. That's if you're slabbing it. If you're just wanting him to sign a book, it's $5.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm good with that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes you got to support the artist, support the creator. $50.
Man, that's $50. Oh God bless, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think
Superpower Review saying Neil is 50. Perry Comics in the house. What's up, Perry?
Yeah. And for everyone who's watching and commenting, I'm talking about cost for their signature if you're wanting to slab it. A lot of them, if you just keep it raw, have a different one. Like, for example, Todd McFarlane, he does special private signings, $50 a signature for CGC authentication there, or gold label. But if you see him at a convention, he'll sign anything for free. You just can't get it slabbed.
Right.
I'm cool with that, man. I don't need a lot of book signs. Just having maybe one book for each artist, $5 to $10, not to get it slabbed or anything. I'm good with that. Just to have some, one signature. Doesn't have to be a ton of signatures, man.
Chad, just love it.
I priced like I think 5 or 6 books to get them graded without fast tracking, and because of the 2 signatures on them, it would be like $450.
Wow. You got any books at CGC right now?
At CGC, I got 4. All-Star Comics 58, New Mutants 87, Uncanny X-Men 266, and some Batman Who Laughs Virgin variant that people are really into. I thought I could sell it better slabbed. I don't care for it.
Huh, nice.
That's cool. Hey, you were showing that brochure. What was it of Liefeld? You want to share that?
Sure. What I do? I dropped it.
I think it was funny.
Well, here I've got to go get here. It dropped in the floor. You set everybody up before you go to.
All right. I'll put it back up. Okay. You want to shout out? We got some more people that have joined.
JP's Budget Collecting joined us. What's going on, JP? Thanks for hanging out. Superpower Review was in here. Steve's saying that he got Neil Adams' signature for free.
Coming from Steve, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Steve's the man. I can't wait to yell Biggie Shack at Neil Adams, dude. I'm dying to see him at a con and yell Biggie Shack.
Pope Servis the first mentioning how CGC and other companies are making the money off of our collection. It's true. They are a business. They have to make money somehow. They have to pay their employees somehow.
A lot of the artists, think about it, man. These guys didn't get paid when these books were coming out in the first place, man. So I don't mind them making money now, but it's just keep it realistic.
Yeah. We also got Inhuman X in the chat. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, what's up, Manny? Thanks for making it, JP.
Always.
Big Will, look, Bake has a great question for you. Do you peek at the grades?
That was my answer, always.
Oh, you can't, man. I can't help myself either. I can't help myself.
Well, depending on what the grade is, sometimes what I was planning to do to it changes. So I want to know as soon as possible.
Okay. I think
that makes sense, yeah.
I've only been able to control myself once. You want to tell the story, Will?
We got Lady Fantastic in the chat. What's up, Lady Fantastic?
There you go.
Okay, so this I found in a box of mine, Evangeline swimsuit edition. Cover, of course, makes me want to flip through it. And then as I'm flipping through, I find this convention ad that says, "Go to the extreme with Rob Liefeld." And it's like advertising that Rob's going to be there. And this was in '96, peak Robness. And they have a piece of his art that they want to show in here to like advertise how great an artist he is. And for some reason, the piece they picked was this.
Bro, that's trash, man. God, that's horrible, dude. How would you put that on an ad, dude, to showcase that guy?
Beats me. That's why I kept the book. It's hilarious.
That is crazy, bro.
Peak Robness. I like it.
I love me some Rob Liefeld, dude.
That must have just probably came out. That Captain America cover.
That's when he and Jim went back to Marvel and started doing. I think he was on Captain. Who was Jim Leon?
X-Men.
Came back.
X-Men, right?
Did he leave and come back on X-Men the same time? I don't know.
I don't know what it was.
But anyway, yeah.
People say that the beginning of the modern or the beginning of the bronze, the beginning of the Copper Age is like when Valiant became a thing and when those big artists started to create their own kind of pubs, their own publishing companies.
You know, me and Javi, Comic Books NYC, did a whole video on that, the different ages of the comic books. We went from Victorian and gave our thoughts up to modern, and we had to add some after the 80s, after Copper, because modern's been going on since the late 80s, according to some people, and that's way too long to say modern.
And what did you come up with?
Postmodern.
Postmodern.
Impressionist. I don't know. No, did you come up with any names for the
era? Yeah. Kavi and I said that 90 or 91 would end the Copper and start the Image Age, when Image was founded, and that would last until 2001. And then we messed up on naming the 2001 to 2011 age. I think it should be the Cinematic Age or the Millennium Age for the new millennium. But anyway, and then it ended at 2011 because of the New 52. And that started a modern, and here in the next few years we'll be ending the modern and have a new modern and have to come up with something for this. That's the way we looked at it. We gave our whole thesis on explaining how, more in depth than what I'm doing right now.
Your whole dissertation.
I like that thinking. Ending it at the New 52, and that was a good time to do that. I think so. I wasn't into comics at that time. I got in towards the end of the New 52. So
Moderner, says Unruly Simian.
Moderner.
Moderner.
So Will.
The Variant Age, says Poor Mike.
That's a good one.
The Variant Age. We got Genome Percents in the chat. What's going on, Genome?
What's up, Genome? What was I gonna say? Oh, Will, you sold out. You had your famous auction. And now you're what, 100 books?
Actually, I have more than that. I've got to downsize.
Oh my goodness.
I accidentally pre-ordered a bunch of I think all of the Spawn 300s. I got to get rid of all of them. They're not on my list. I got another 40, I think, books from random places like Spider-Man booth. I got to get rid of. I can't do another auction thing because they're not valuable enough,
right?
To do it. So I'm gonna have to get tricky and maybe do some giveaways or something. But yeah, I've got like another 60 books to get rid of because they're not on my list. I got to keep it around 100. It's nice for me.
Okay, I want to ask you. I'm not going to ask you to name your whole list, but what are some of the books on that list, if you want to share?
Well. How about I just name the whole list? I got it right here.
Yeah, if you want to, I want to hear it.
That's the list of books that you are trying to acquire, correct?
Yes.
These are all the things I'm trying to acquire. I've already got some of them. Now it's been tweaked a little bit. So there's a few added and a few taken away. But basically it's Incredible Hulk 180, 181, 182, New Mutants 98, NYX 3, Werewolf by Night 32, All-Star Comics 58, Space Ghost 1 and 5, Showcase 97, Power Girl 1 from 88 and 1 from 2009, both covers, Wolverine number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 8, number 10, and 177. I have Elite Comics 1 and 5. I want another copy of Incredible Hulk 180, 181, and 182. Wolverine's my boy. Strange Tales 126, X-Men 221, 244, 266, and 282. ASM 121, 210, and 300. Marvel Superheroes 12, Miss Marvel 18, Savage She-Hulk 1, Jimmy Olsen 134, Brave and the Bold 54 and 60, Teen Titans 1, 7, 22, 23, 45, 48, Tales of the Teen Titans 44, 50, and 56, New Teen Titans 1, 2, 16, 21, 22, 23, 26, 39, Silver Surfer 3, Daredevil 1, DC Comics Presents 26, Hero for Hire 1, Iron Fist 14, Marvel Spotlight 5, and then I have the investment books. And the investment books are the short list. It's another 3 copies of 180, 181, and 182. Batman Adventures 12, GSX 1, Batman 1649, 139, 181, 232, Avengers 1, 2, 4, and 8. Detective Comics 31, 225, 359, 267, ASM 1, 14, 33, 50, Superman 30 and 61, Fantastic Four 1, 2, 5, 48, 49, 52. I don't like 50. Action Comics 15, 64, 242, 252, X-Men 1, 2, 4, 12, 14, 50, 94, 96, and 101. That's the list.
Oh, wow, that was impressive, man. I am very impressed. Now I got
That is hilarious.
Now a lot of those, the majority are keys. But in your Teen Titans, you put what, 16, the first Captain Carrot?
Yeah.
Because of Captain Carrot?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Captain Carrot's an awesome
day.
character.
Yeah, that one I already have. I have a couple, 2, 3 copies, and one of them slabbed. It's a 9.6.
Nice.
Captain Carrot's awesome, dude. Pope Cerebus saying, "What discipline, Big Will?" A superpower review. He likes the idea of a giveaway. He also says he thought his list was bad.
Hey, look at 90. Steve Whiting, you wrote that all down. I was thinking the same thing, Chad.
I sent your AOK on behalf of Stay Puff when we did that.
Oh,
awesome.
Today, so you'll get it this week.
That's
super
awesome,
cool.
man.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to probably go rewind this and slow it down a bit. That whole section right there, so I could get
You know what caught my attention?
What?
The Space Ghost 1 and 5.
1 and 5. Why
Space
5?
Ghost.
1 I understand, but 5. What's the significance of that book?
Well,
that's a
give
gold
me a
key.
second and I'll show you.
Oh, awesome.
I believe
Got
that's a
on my
gold key.
slabs right here by me.
I remember we saw the number 1 at one of the cons we went to, Javi.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
we
see it
did.
too often.
You don't see it. It's a hard to find book.
Yeah, it's a nice
Number
cover.
1 is right here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but you got the book, Will.
Yeah.
You have a lot of the books on the list.
Oh, I told you some of them I had.
Oh, it sounds like you got a lot.
And Space Ghost 5, the reason I want it is self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous cover. Wow. Oh my God.
Holy crap, that's awesome, man.
Wow.
I thought you were talking about the 60s. The 60s
Yeah.
goes from
I thought you were talking about the 60s. Like its first.
This is a 6-issue miniseries that came out in 2005. Ariel Olivetti interior art, Alex Ross covers, and Joe Kelly wrote the story.
Awesome, man.
You know your books, man. You read that out. You read those creators off pretty easy. I couldn't do that. I have to look.
We have Shelly Cakes in the chat. What's going on, Shelly Cakes?
Hey,
It took a lot of hunting to find those. Most people don't know about it at all, and the ones that do tend to keep them. You don't have that many for sale, so I had to hunt.
Since you've been on YouTube, has YouTube affected the way you collect?
No. Losing all of my money collected how I collect.
Hey, yeah.
I feel you, bro.
I'm more up to date on stuff since YouTube, but other than that, no. I collect the same. I try to keep it about 100 books or so. Don't have more than 3 titles at the pull list, and mainly if I'm going to read something, it'll be maybe 1 or 2 singles, but mostly trades and stuff like that if I'm just reading.
Do you read online?
No,
No.
can't stand digital reading.
So you've tried it.
My eyes, I don't like it. Got to have it in my hands.
I totally understand, man. I smell my books, man. I know a lot of people do, but when I get like one of those old books, I gotta.
I'm not that weird.
I
don't
do.
like
I think I gotta.
comics,
They,
but
they,
I mean,
they don't all smell the same. All the old books don't smell the same. Like you smell it, and it's like, okay, all right, that one's okay. And then
What if it's a musty, watery bag and board? You're just.
I don't understand what is with some of you guys just opening books and go, oh.
it's not with the new book.
I don't get it. I mean, is there some strange attraction to the sweat and rot? I mean,
Dude, it just takes you back, man. Nothing takes you back like smell.
well, I never knew comic shops existed until after I started collecting them, believe it or not. So I never had a childhood going into a shop where that smell was in the air.
Oh my god, I was lucky enough to have that. And
when did you start going? When did you start going to like a comic shop?
Who, me?
To, like, start getting books? No, Big Will.
Big Will.
It was late 2006. That was my. I'm 30. That was 31. That was my senior year in high school, and a buddy of mine found out online that there was one in a city near us. So we drove out there, and that's when I first realized what a comic shop was. Although this was run by some lady that just liked manga, so there actually wasn't that many comics there.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, it was all right. It did what it needed to do. I was able to find out what previews are, get those, and order what I wanted. And, Then later I found a shop in Huntsville called The Deep. It's a very large shop, and they have plenty of comics, and that's my CS.
Right.
I drive all the way to Huntsville from where I'm at.
The Deep. That sounds cool.
Do you share the hobby with anybody? Like, you have any friends that are into it, or?
My roommate.
Oh, awesome, man. That's great.
Oh, by the way, sometimes he gets up in the middle of the night randomly in his underwear to go pee in the bathroom. So he works third shift. So if you happen to see him, that's what that monstrosity is.
Well, you know what? Let's do like the Saturday stream with Stay Puft, and let's go 3 hours so the odds increase. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you get a sighting. What do you think?
The first appearance.
Yeah, first appearance. Butt crack.
Yeah.
Hey, you were talking. We were talking off air, and you were saying about cons. You enjoy going to cons?
Yeah, I went to my first con in 2006. You'll find me mention that year a lot. That's a big year.
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, and it was the Nashville Comic and Horror Convention.
Sweet.
I met a dealer by the name of Crazy Ed.
Oh, I know who Crazy Ed is.
Dude, we know Crazy Ed.
Florida,
We met Crazy Ed, man.
Yeah. Holy crap.
I do have a Florida connection.
Yeah. See, Crazy Ed. He's in oh my God, he's right on the beach. That's what
Yeah, I think he's in Miami, isn't he?
Yeah, it's Sunny Isles. He's in Sunny Isles. It's about 20 minutes from us.
Anyway, Crazy Ed.
I told you, Javi.
2006.
Everything is a Florida connection. Crazy Ed.
Crazy Ed is the guy who introduced me to what a CGC was. He's a charter member, as you guys probably know, of CGC, and that's where I figured out what CGC was and all about it. That's also where I bought my first Hulk 181 at that same convention. Wasn't from Ed though, but his were nice and slabbed. That was too expensive.
Hey,
But yeah, that was my introduction to conventions and everything, was Nashville and Crazy Ed. And we actually wanted some free books from Ed, and we got buddy with him. So we actually helped him take down his stuff when he was leaving the convention, and he gave us free comics as payment.
oh, that is cool, man. That is cool.
Chad says he bought his Batman 155 from Crazy Ed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I met Crazy Ed again at Dragon Con. He was out one year due to health, but he's actually there every year. Saw him this year, he tried to sell me a Strange Adventures 206 No, 207. The Dead Man cover that won a bunch of awards by Neil Adams, his first Dead Man cover with the green faces background.
Yeah, the head cover, yeah.
Yeah, and he wanted like $120 for it. It was probably a 6.570 condition, and I tried to tell him that according to everything online, it was only worth $50. But of course, you know,
Crazy Ed.
on the diatribe that Ed does, and I just stood there and like, okay, Ed.
Crazy Ed's a little bit of a used car salesman, ain't he?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. When Chad was buying that book, I was telling him, dude, I was with Steve. And you were there too, Javi. We were all there.
Yeah, we were there. He's the one that pulled you guys into his booth, and he had all the books in front of you, and he was trying to not haggle so much, but like just saying like, look, you guys are gonna leave with these books. Like
He tells you you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
He tells you everything about it that he knows, just spouts this fountain of knowledge, and then maybe a deal occurs.
Yeah.
Actually, 90 got a great deal. So
I think that's the booth that had the smile deal.
The what?
The smile deal. Like if you smile.
Yeah, that's Ed.
That's Crazy Ed's. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Vampy book. I got a Vampy book from that booth, and I gave it to Jeff. Yeah.
And I got a Fantastic Four book, and I gave it to you.
And for anyone watching who doesn't really know if Crazy Ed sounds like a good guy or not because of the name, my buddy bought a ASM 121 in 2006 at the convention. He's the same guy, my roommate that was with me. And Crazy Ed wanted it because it was raw and it would go great for his reader copy. See, but he doesn't do it now, but back in the day, he used to have a reader copy of every slabbed book he had. So if you bought a GSX-1 or a Hulk 181, he had another copy that you bought with it just to read.
Right.
He didn't have a 121 ASM, so he grabbed my friend's copy and said, if you'll do this, this, and this through the mail, I'll make sure you get paid for it. My friend said it was a good deal. 2018, we find Crazy Ed, or 2019, one of the two, we find Crazy Ed all these years later. He remembers that deal, remembers my buddy didn't go through with it because he forgot about it and tried to give him the money that was owed. And my buddy was like, no, it's my fault.
No way. That's insane, man.
You know what? That's awesome, bro. That's
awesome that he remembers, man.
He can price books at whatever price he wants. They're his until you buy them, and it's your fault if you buy it at that price. But as far as being a good guy, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Because I always thought he was shady. I always thought he was just. It's like kind of like that 6.5 story you just said.
Yeah.
His books were always a little overpriced for what they were.
It's just that, like you said, car salesman vibe he has. But no, he's a great guy. It's just if you see a book is overpriced, he probably really likes it, or he did a deal where now it has to be overpriced to make it or something.
Yeah.
But you'll find good deals. He does have great deals. I mean, Javi here, testament to that. He does have good deals.
He's got a lot of books, man. But
he's got a lot of books. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be at MegaCon.
Yeah,
he's only got a few years left in him. He said he was getting rid of his personal collection, starting to sell off. He's wanting to retire, I believe he said. So another couple years, and probably
he's up there. He's up there in age, man. He's up there in age. He's got the ladies helping him there in the booth, and
he was in his 50s or 60s back in 06. So
yeah,
he's probably late 60s now.
Yeah, I would think so. My daughter's in the chat. Everybody's chatter. Say hi to Madison.
What's going on, Madison?
Rose. Thanks for coming by, Madison. Love you. All right.
Well, this is fun. What's the next question?
I'm thinking, man. Of the cons, man. You say you do two. You were telling me that you do 2 cons a year. What cons are you looking forward to, I guess, next year?
Well, as of right now, I've been going to the same 2 conventions. One of them is local. It's the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. It has decent books and decent creators. It's about a small to medium or becoming medium-sized convention. It's in April, and a weekend pass right now online is $30.
Nice.
And I also go to a big convention, and so far it's been Dragon Con. Although I think this next year is probably going to be the last year for a little while. I'm thinking about going to some other place, but it's the Huntsville Convention and Dragon Con are the two I go to.
What do you like doing at the con?
Con's great. It's just it has a good selection of books, but not very wide. I mean, Crazy Ed's there. You guys probably know Mario's comics if you do a lot in Florida.
We probably
Mario's based in Florida.
Probably seen him around.
Yeah, we probably seen him.
Yeah, and there's
Crazy Ed sticks out, man. Crazy Ed's pretty unforgettable.
Yeah, he is. But you can still find some books there. But it's also fun. They have a great celebrity thing where they have this huge ballroom, and you just go around and celebrities line the walls basically, and you can go in different lines and get a signature or photo or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard crazy stories about Dragon Con. Just I don't know.
Well, year before last, I believe, 2017, it was. The Alabama fans for the football game were there, and one of them threw a chair off I think it was like the 30th floor, and it come crashing down on a cosplayer.
No way.
Thankfully, I think she was cosplaying as like Galactus' daughter, Galacta or something, and her big headpiece saved her from any injury. But,
wow, that's
that
great.
happened.
Yeah, no, I've heard crazy things about Dragon Con, but it's one of the conventions I've always wanted to check out as well.
Yeah, well, unlike most, it's a 24-hour convention. I mean,
Right.
some areas like vendors do have a closing time, but there's a party going on from Thursday sometime in the morning till Monday at night. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. Throwing things out of windows, man. What's your favorite part of the cons?
It's just one big party.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the cons?
Mine is the books, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell looking behind both of you. You know, what's your favorite part? I would imagine the books.
It's the books, man. We go and I've never had so much fun. I used to go to cons and it was just me and my family, and I was in and out like in 3 hours. And now going with this crazy crew, Javi, Steve, Chad, Jeff, Puff, it's crazy, man. The day goes by so fast, and there's not enough time. I love it, man. And it's just we get in the zone, and it's just books.
Yeah. Do you go?
Artists and writers. That's the best part for me.
I saw.
Celebrities are a nice plus.
Yeah, I saw in your Instagram you got a whole bunch of signatures, even some sketches at your last Dragon Con.
Yeah, I decided to go sketches this year, and
Nice.
I realized that I'm not going to be able to afford to do that again. That's almost all my money. Getting sketches from people, but yeah, I got some good ones. I got Keith Giffen, Joe Staten. They were some of the coolest ones. I got a few from some other people. Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
Jay Lee,
Oh,
Kevin
he's great.
McCoy, I think is his name, or McGuire. I don't know.
That's great.
Anyway.
Pope has a question for you.
Things do I not like about current comic scene?
Yeah.
That there's not enough Wolverine. That's one. That's one for sure.
Do you like the Dead Man Logan stuff? Old Man Logan?
That is not my Logan.
Yeah, that's not your Wolverine.
The original Old Man Logan storyline in the ongoing series, great, perfect. Can't touch it. It's awesome. Taking him and making him a normal, no. He needed to die. I'm glad they killed him. I want my Wolverine back. X-23 is great. Her all-new Wolverine was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Keep her, but I want my Wolverine back.
And you want him back as a solo title.
I want him in his own solo title where he can get going, where he can get to doing the best that he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what he does.
He's the best there is at what he does, and what he does isn't very nice. You have to play nice with the X-Men, okay?
Who's your favorite artist? Who, like, let's say they come up with a series.
Alex Ross.
Alex Ross, wow.
He's my favorite artist. I have top three.
Yeah.
Clinton Crane and Ariel Olivetti. Those are my top three favorite artists.
Those are great. Top three.
Can you imagine an Alex Ross run like the Immortal Hulk with the Wolverine that he does all the covers like that? Oh my God, that would be epic.
Wow, that would be epic. Holy crap.
What's funny is my favorite cover is Wolverine #1 from the ongoing, and it's John Buscema.
That's John
But he's
Buscema.
not my favorite artist.
That's John Buscema.
That's the one where he's in the
pile of bodies under him.
Yeah, and he's just like, this
My
mask off.
favorite cover.
That's awesome.
A lot of people, everybody talks about what the Mixer Fix It or the Greyhawk. You know which cover is good in that run? The #2, man.
Of Immortal Hulk?
Of the Wolverine.
Oh, really? You like #2 with the Silver Samurai?
Oh my God, I think that's a gorgeous cover, man. You don't like it, huh?
I mean, it's fine. It's
I think that cover is fire, man.
I'm not going to knock it. It's Buscema.
I think that's a beautiful. I got it on my
It's like
wall
the
right
red
now.
background.
I love that cover, man. People don't talk about it, but I love it.
Do you like Sam Keith Wolverine?
No.
Really?
I'm okay with Sam Keith as a cover artist, but I hate his interiors. His Wolverine is an abomination, of which he would never done.
I like it.
But
We're
the
no longer
interiors. Do you like the interiors? That's the big thing. Because the interiors is where it gets all very muddled, and somebody said, I forgot who it was, but Sam Keith was like Rob Liefeld trying to do Todd McFarlane, but just got halfway there, and then just I don't know, just too kind of abstract.
I like the covers, man. I do. I love the Sam Keith covers of Wolverine, man. There were some pretty real nice covers. The interiors not so much, but the covers were awesome. Sorry.
I would say Sam Keith is more like a Liefeld Salvador Dali combination and up on a cat.
Yeah, but I like it. I like him.
Do you have any do you keep most of your collection slabbed, or do you have a mixed lot of slab and raw?
Eventually, it'll all be slab.
Okay. So do you want to show off
I'm
some
in
books?
the vein of TJ on that one. If it's not slabbed yet, it's not yet in my collection.
Gotcha. Do you want to show off some books?
Well, actually, I have a question for you guys. I got 3 books here, and I need to do something with them. None of them are on my list. And I can explain why I got them, and you tell me what I should do with them, because I really can't sell them because they won't bring me much money. I mean, I suppose I still could, and I don't want to slab them because it's not worth it. Mm-hmm. And I really don't want to give them away either because I spent money on them to get them.
So what options do you have left?
I have no idea. That's why you're going to tell me. Okay. Is this giant-sized creatures #1?
That's the first Tigra.
Yeah, it's also signed by Roy Thomas.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's a good book, Will.
Yeah, but it doesn't have much value in this condition. I mean, it might later, but I really don't want to keep it around just to
What grade do you think it is? What grade would Big Will give it?
Well, without taking it up and looking it over real good, it looks like it might be as high as a 6.
Okay. That's like a $20 book, $30 book tops. Maybe with the SIG a little bit more.
I would, since his signature's free, I would add, since he's still alive, maybe $10 for the signature.
So it's like a $30, $40 book at most?
Yeah. So the cost of grading and everything, I pretty much lose money.
Oh yeah, that's not a book worth
grading. So, I mean, I gotta have something to do with it. And then I have this one. This is Marvel Special Edition featuring the Hands of Shang-Chi. Says number 16.
Will, that's his second appearance.
The reason why I bought this, it is his first. I mean, it is his second appearance, yes, but that's not why I bought it.
Midnight.
I bought it because this is the first appearance of Midnight, who is his brother, and I figured that might be something that's shown, in the movie.
What condition do you think that book is in?
The grade? Well, again, without going through it, maybe a 7.
Will, that's his second appearance. His first appearance is pretty much out of reach for a lot of people.
I know, but I don't really want to. How long would I have to wait before this one gets to do like 180?
Until the movie comes out.
I don't think it's gonna be a big money book. I don't think it's gonna be at that, unless that movie's a monster. But even still, a realistic. Exactly, maybe $50, $60, $70 book tops.
Yeah. So again, it's really not worth it for the grading. I mean, because technically it's worth it, but I don't want to make $10-$20 on a book if I get it graded.
Pope Cerebus is asking, is the Shang-Chi 16 in nice shape? Joe Bag of Sevens, what's going on, brother?
That's probably on a lag, so he probably heard me say a 7.
Oh yeah, it's like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's also without me taking it out and looking at it.
And you can always get it pressed.
Black light over the cover, so no restoration on the color. There's no like color touch or anything.
And you could also get it pressed, man. It might be as much as an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd get that high with the press.
You have to spend money on the press.
Fine ticks and all, but and then there's this one. Miss Marvel number 9. It's the first appearance of Deathbird.
Ooh.
There was a book on that. She might be in one of the movies, right? Supposedly the villain. I heard them talk about that a few months back.
I doubt they would use Deathbird as a main.
I doubt it too.
I mean, and this
maybe not that rendition. They might tinker with the whole look.
Maybe, but this one could pull an 8.5 with a press without looking all the way through it. Maybe an 8.
Those are minor keys, man. And okay, so you don't want to slap them. I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
I would just sit on.
There's one more.
Oh, there's 4.
Oh, there's 4. Okay.
There's one more. Incredible Hulk 182, signed by Roy Thomas.
Nice.
And what condition is that one, you think?
I would say without opening up and going through it, it might get as high as maybe a 6 to me. Maybe.
That's a good book to hold on to, man.
Yo, we got Borican Comics in the house. What's going on? We also had Air Spider 23 jump in here.
Where's he at?
He was up top there. Unruly Simeon is saying to have a contest.
Yeah, but I gotta have a contest for all this extra books I gotta give away. I need to have a contest for all this Spawn. I'm gonna have a bunch of freaking contests if I keep doing contests to get rid of everything.
That last book is definitely a keeper, I think.
And what about this one?
I think that's a keeper too, man.
That's a keeper.
I think that
it's because it's double signed and because of what the appearance is of that book.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it and thinking I can afford a 9.8 if I want a 9.8. Just buying it slab. So, and this would lose money getting it, the 2 signatures authenticated and getting it graded.
I wouldn't get it authenticated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in a CBCS. I would just.
If I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it as it is, raw.
Yeah. I agree. It's like what Javi was saying. You could do a contest or. Okay, what were the options?
We didn't have much options.
Maybe you could send them to Bueller for his Bueller boxes. That's another option. You could donate them, but those are really nice books, man.
Yeah.
They're all minor keys.
I'm all for donating, but I've kind of done that a lot,
Mhm.
and I think I've done enough. I
Yeah.
don't want to do anymore.
I feel you, man. I feel
For
you.
those of you who may not know, I'm the guy that sent Comic Tom like 10 slabs.
Oh my goodness.
And as far as I know, I'm the only person who has donated to his Mystery America a slab. And I'm also the only person, as far as I know, to donate Golden Age books.
That's
Wow.
awesome, Will. I didn't know that. That's awesome, man.
So I've given enough. I'm not doing, if I do a giveaway on my own channel or get rid of something, like with Stay Puft, that's okay. But I'm not just going to
Yeah.
donate books that might be decent, even though I'm kind of not knowing what I want to do with them.
Yeah. No, Will, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I totally understand your point. I would keep them, man. I have most of those books in my collection, and that's the way I collect. I like having all these little keys, and they don't have to be 9/8 either. I'm not that like the 6 is. I'm perfectly fine. I think mine are 6 in that range. So, but that's me. I know it's probably Javi too. I would think, right, Javi?
What my
You would have those books. You would want those in your collection.
I would love the giant size, the creatures. That's an awesome book. But I get where you're coming from, Big Will. You don't want to just be sitting on them forever. Just kind of just
100 books.
Yeah.
Okay. On that, why 100 books, Will? That's not even a short box, right?
Do what?
That's not even a short box.
Well, if they're slabbed,
If they're slabbed, yeah.
Yes, you're right. That's not even a short box.
Why
Well,
100?
How long are y'all planning on going on? Because that's a little bit of a story.
We're here, man. I'm good. You're good, Javi?
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah, we'll go long, man. We'll go a little long. That's good. I want to hear it. Why 100?
All right. This is I've never told this story, so it's going to be a bit of a long story here, but it'll explain a lot with how I do my thinking on collecting and everything. You're going to learn some stuff here.
Okay.
All right. I started in 2005, 2006. I already told you that.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the convention in Nashville and literally spent every bit of my money. Matter of fact, I think I went negative. I was still on my parents' account, though, so they put a little money and cover them overdrafts, I would do that the next year, and the next year. I would keep spending all my money. I never had any money. And then in 2008, we got news that I have some issue that's making it to where I have to go and have a surgery to cut something out of my skin, and that would get me laid up, and we didn't know what it was. It put me in a wheelchair for about a year and a half. I was in a wheelchair. We finally figured out what it was in about 2009, 2010. It's a skin disease called hidradenitis. And ever since about 2010, I've had to take chemo every 8, 6, or 4 weeks, depending on how bad it is, in order to contain it and try and let my body heal and be out and actually get a job. Wow. Because from about 2008 to 2011, I lost my job. I had to drop out of college. Wow. And obviously I lost my money. Thank God Obamacare existed. Whatever you feel about Obamacare, it saved my life. That's because awesome. I was able to go back on my parents' insurance. Mm-hmm. And I needed money. So what did I do? I had a whole bunch of comics, hundreds of them. I had the full run of Wolverine 1 through 189. I wound up selling it for like $50, $60 because back then that's all you could get. Yeah. And that pains me to say that. I sold my Hulk 181 for like $450. Believe it or not, that was a profit, but still, it was $450. Imagine if I had it now. It was like a 6.5 right. No.
Wow.
And I sold my ASM 300 that was near mint and a whole bunch of other stuff. I had the full origin run of Wolverine. I had the full second series of Wolverine. I had all these books, and I had to sell them, and I had to sell them at a loss because no one wanted to buy full runs or random issues at a profit. They wanted less than cover. So I finally learned personal finance, how to handle my money. I got a job. I got savings in the bank. I got 401k, and all that started. And
sweet.
I said to myself, if I'm ever in this position again, I don't want to have to sell and lose money or have to sell 189 issues of something I worked so hard to put together for $50,
At a
peanuts.
loss, yeah.
So I'm never doing that again. I am never doing a run unless I get it because I buy it off the shelf. Like right now, I'm signed up for Ghost Rider.
Mhm.
I will be with it until it ends. If it's 100 issues, so be it. But I'll be buying it at cover price and collecting it on my own. I'm not going to buy, back issues.
Right.
Right now, they tend to be overpriced, really. I mean, even the no-name books. And
Yeah.
I'm just never doing that to myself again. So I think 100's a good number. That's a lot, but it's not too much. Slabbing helps with value. It also helps with protection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm focusing on specific books that I like, that are specific to me, or a key that I think will do good. There was maybe 50 books on that list I sped through, and that's it. So I'm keeping, and that's speculation, investing, and my personal collection combined.
Yeah.
So that's my story of why I collect the way I do and why I'm always thinking about the money aspect of it, even though I do enjoy comics and got into them because I love the stories.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
I don't know how coherent that was, but
no, that's
Makes sense.
you sold the books at a loss, but you know what? You still had those books to sell, so you did get something back for them, and it did. I mean, imagine it did help. So I can see why you're thinking that way, man.
So now if I have to absolutely sell a book, I have Hero for Hire #1. I could get a few hundred.
Yeah.
And I could probably wheel and deal a profit or at least break even.
Yeah.
So,
and getting them graded helps too.
Yeah.
That helps with the selling part.
So that's why I do it the way I do it.
Yeah, that's definitely a great story for sure. Hey, and that keeps your collection in check. You already have your list ready to go. You already know what's coming in, what's going out. So,
well, I mean, think about it too. If I manage to get everything on my list, that's like a $150,000-$200,000 collection, unless I get all 1.0s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna have 100 comics, but you're gonna have 100 nice comics.
Yeah, I think the last price check I did on Detective Comics 31 was like a 0.5 sold for $8,000.
Damn.
It's one of them on my list. So.
Good luck with that, bro. I wish you luck with all those books. You kind of collect. He collects, Golden Age and whatnot, but DS is like that. He collects a lot like that. He has a very small amount of books, but they're books that he loves.
Golden Age, I'm going to tackle when I get most of the books. The investment books we'll do later. Those are Golden Age, a lot of them. But as far as Golden Age that I want, I'm going to do that after I get most of the stuff on this list, when I come up with another list later.
Mm-hmm. Do you see a lot of Golden Age in your area? Like at that shop you go to?
Well, in my shop, I see whatever they have, of course. And they have everything. It's one of the largest shops in the area. It's a 2-story shop.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The top story is for gaming, and the bottom is collectibles, mainly comic books and graphic novels and trades. But as far as going out into the wild, there's not many opportunities to do that. But when you do that, what you will find in Alabama more often than anything is Golden Age Westerns.
That makes sense.
Do you see a lot of Golden Age down here, Javi? I really don't. I don't.
No, because it's Golden Age.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I just never seen too many down here.
No,
I don't know. Maybe up north.
Up here, don't collect it.
Yeah, maybe up north you probably come across it more often than not. But maybe at a con is when you see it here. But I've in the shops around, maybe one shop has some, but you don't come across it too often. At least I haven't, and that's not a rabbit hole I'm willing to go down. I like my Bronze Age, my silver, and
you guys and your I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. Look, you can get decent Golden Age books at decent prices It's only when you go for the big name stuff
for the
that
big
gets pricey.
for the big one.
You can get you a Captain Midnight for under $150. That's World War II era faucet.
Wow.
You can get some classic illustrateds, Just stick.
Be careful with those, man. You got to be careful with those.
Yeah.
You got to look at the cover price, and then once you locate the cover price and how much it is, you got to turn it over on the back. If you have an overstreet, it'll walk you through the entire system you have to go through to figure out what print it is. They have
what issue printing it is.
Yeah, they have like 15-cent cover price for like 5 to 10 different printings of the same book, and it's only the earlier printings that are worth 30, 40, $50, and the one you have may only be worth the 15-cent cover price.
Right.
So you got to be careful with those, man. Classic Illustrated is a whole collection, whole collector area on its own. I started and realized what it was and said, nope.
I don't know any of that, man. That's the first, that you just taught me something. I have no idea.
Look in your Overstreet. I know you have one, and go to like you're looking up a normal comic book, Classics Illustrated, and at the beginning it walks you through and explains to you, hey, this is this, and it's quite a big section too because of it.
Wow. All right, I think we're getting close to the end, guys.
Yeah, we had Bubs Comics jump in here. Thanks for hanging out, Bubs.
What's up, Beast?
He is the other Wolverine guy.
Yes. Did you see him the other night on? Yeah, he had the claws and the patch. He looked good, man. He looked good.
Yeah, with the suit on, I couldn't tell if he was going for straight patch or if he wanted to do that Infinity Warps where he combined with the White Queen, whatever her name is.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good.
Yeah.
Javi, you got anything coming up, man?
Just the usual stuff, man. Just check out the streams, the Conquistadorks channel. We got stuff coming up.
Awesome. We're gonna be on Chad's tomorrow. We get 90 MF Comics, New Comic Book Day.
That's right, 90 MF Comics. Big Will, do you want to show off any books before we sign off?
I don't really have much of anything to show.
Okay, I
literally showed my entire slab collection the past 2 live streams.
I bet.
Yeah, hey man, you got some time to catch up, man. You're catching up.
Yeah, man, you're back on the live stream. It's good to have you back, man.
There is one thing. I found a slab that I didn't know I had, or I forgot I had it.
Nice.
It's out of reach, but it's the Rags #1 and a 9.8. The original one that doesn't have a publisher listed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something to sell, give away, or hold on to?
I don't even know. I'm not sure about that book.
I would say sell, but I am not 100% either. I'm not sure where that book is at now. I think it's died down. I really don't know too much of that book.
A while back.
Immortal Biggie Shack.
It was not before. I don't know where it's at now.
Yeah, Immortal Biggie Shack. He says, "Oh no, not that book."
Yeah, not that book, Biggie. I know. That's the book you beat me with. I know. I love that book.
Great cover.
Yeah, it's a headlight cover. I know it well.
It's a headlight, tail light, reverse light, and turn signal cover.
All right, you got any? You know what? Before I ask you this question, I just want to thank you. When I first got on YouTube, I was just doing the no face, showing books, haul books, and you were one of the first persons that invited me to your Sunday show that you used to do with Jeffrey. And I just want to thank you, man. That kind of got me over the hump. I was still nervous, and you made it super easy. And I appreciate you, man, for inviting me way back when. And I had a blast hanging out with you, and I can't thank you enough for that, man.
Thank you for coming.
That's awesome.
I appreciate it, and I hope you get that show going again, man.
Well, I messaged Jeffrey, and I don't know if he didn't see it or not. I'm going to do it again to see what he wants to do. I don't really want to do it weekly, but I'd be up for maybe a monthly thing with him, see if we can't do it.
That'd be great if you guys could come back.
Yeah, I enjoy.
We had you on, Javi. You might be the first guest when we get it started.
Oh, that would be awesome, man.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to be there.
That would be awesome. But thank you for that, Will. I appreciate you, man. And I'm glad you're back. And I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad everything's looking up for you, man.
It's slow but steady. We're getting better, and I will do something. I think this week I'll figure out some way to get rid of all this Spawn and the other books. Can't sell them. I'll have to figure out some kind of contest or giveaway. I plan to do a contest at 100, 250, 500, and 1,000 subs if I ever got to any of them. I've been over 250 a while, so I'm due for that one.
I'm sure you'll come up with something inventive. I know you did with the auction. I've told you before. I loved it. So I'm sure you're going to come up with something good with those books, man. I'm sure you won't have any problems.
Well, all right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming on, man. And I just want to thank everybody in the chat for spending a little bit of time here with us, just talking comics, getting to know Will, welcoming him back to the community. I do gotta say I missed the fan, but I'm glad you're comfortable in the chair. So that's good.
Well, I have found out that I look like a princess with these puffed up things here because this chair has this arm that comes out, and I'm just about too big for it.
You got the shoulder pads going.
Yes, I'm a princess.
You got the puffy shirt. Look, you got the puffy shirt. All right, so everybody, guys, thank you. We'll be back next week with another guest. Thanks for stopping by, Javi. You're the best, man. Love you. Thank you, guys. Will, good. And everybody, new comic book day, Eve. So get ready for tomorrow. Get your books, guys. Take care and see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.